Clock, maybe we get started by saluting the flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Unfortunately, Mayor Holt will not be present today. May I have a motion for the approval of the minutes?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, have it. The motion is carried. The next item is the financial report and payment of the bills. Motion, please.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, ayes have it. Motion is carried. The next order of business is employee of the quarter presentation. We must have somebody that's going to present that, and it is.
Good morning or good afternoon.
Same deal.
Okay, so the committee met a couple of weeks ago. It was a tough decision. There were a lot of nominees this time. It went almost through, I think we went through almost 3 rounds of voting and discussion. And there was a final decision. And I want to report that it was actually a group, a team that was nominated and selected. And this would be the employee police records and the police associates.
Oh.
Yes.
Thank you.
That's why everyone's sitting on this side. You're not in trouble.
Yay.
So I'll give a little explanation. This is of course not my wheelhouse and what we do, and I'm going to ask this chief's assistants about why they were nominated and the reason. But from what I understand, that all police departments have to submit stats to what's called a uniform crime reporting system. Historically, that's been done for many, many years. And then there was discussions that was going to change a different type of reporting system. And there's a different requirements that come with that. And so the police records, the police associates team was tasked with this new method of reporting. It was not an easy task. And they did a great job doing that, but I'll let the chief explain in more detail how that happened.
Yeah, so it's called NIBRS, National Incident-Based Reporting System. So instead of kind of hierarching and prioritizing the type of crime, we have to report all the incidents. But not every crime gets reported, so it's still only certain ones. And when the state did this, or the federal government did this, they did it, the state is our point of contact, and we had to totally get, our record management system had to totally do a whole new form so we can access it through our record management system, but it looks totally different. It's very foreign to everyone. And then you have to successfully submit it for 6 months with a very low error rate in order to get certified. And if you miss one of those months, you have to start all over again. So, and at the same time that you're submitting NIBRS, which is a lot more detail, you also have to submit UCR. So my records department had to learn how to do NIBRS, had to learn the new system, had to teach my officers how to do NIBRS, and then had to check it every time it came through. So they started in July, because the state didn't get fully acclimated and certified in this until like the end of 2021. So I say July. January of 2022, they started doing it. And by the end of June, we were fully certified because they had an error rate every month of 0. Except for 1 month, and then that's not even their fault. It's because the system wasn't in place and ready to handle what we had to do. So a few arrests and things like that.
And your agency was the first to do it.
And our agency is, I believe, probably the only one still in Cecil County that's certified in NIBRS. So we are doing everything that we're supposed to do. And it's really thanks to these people. Carol Moss, if you guys would just come forward. Carol Moss, who's the supervisor. Bruce Edwards, who's a day shift associate. Aaron Holmes, who's another day shift. And then Gabriella Gonzalez and Sierra Gonzalez, who both work night shift and we're not happy. They didn't know about this, and we told them they had a mandatory meeting in the middle of the day.
Oh, okay.
They're a little surprised by this, but
Sorry about that.
really, really, they just epitomized what the police department's about, and it's excellence, and they did a great job on this, so it was not an easy task. So thank you all. Thank you.
Go up in front of them.
Gotta get your photo op.
Oh, man, what's up, Jackie?
Chief, go with them.
Okay.
You want us to stand up?
Yes, you can stand up so that you get your own picture.
Yeah, otherwise, we're gonna have them kneel. Everybody looking?
Keep it trucking.
Wait. I'm getting one with Aaron and the horns.
Yeah. Can't wait to see what this crop is.
I have to make sure I got the horns in his head.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
We're done? Okay.
Don't get to throw rice.
Oh, don't worry, yours is this weekend.
Picture time.
We got a good meal for you, boy. Turkey and all kinds.
As they depart, Louis, your agenda is complete for the day.
On the agenda, but I wanted to comment to the board that I received the draft amendment to the contract, the Sixth Amendment to the man-from-work contract, and I'm reviewing it, so I don't see any major problems with it because the board already looked at the numbers. So I'll be putting that contract together with man-from-work reps, and we'll probably get that to you at the next meeting for approval. So I wanted to say that that's pending matter, but it's, I don't see any issues with it.
Okay, as we move on, the next is the reports by commissioners. I have none. Gene, Rob, and Earl in that order.
I'm trying to think, there was something else that we were gonna put on the, the mayor wanted us to review the charter. Are we gonna put that on the agenda for,
I have it on the February agenda, the February workshop,
okay, I did, workshop,
correct?
okay, that's all.
You don't have anything? I got a couple of things. I've been kind of busy lately. I attended the quarterly MML meeting in Aberdeen and was glad to give the invocation in Commissioner Gibbons' absence. I certainly am not as eloquent, but I think I pulled it off just fine.
That's good.
Did you win the 50/50?
I did. I put Earl's name on it.
Oh, you said.
That means you owe me some money.
Earl gets it all the time.
I didn't want to say that. Yeah, I also attended the service for Dr. King this past Monday. Very nice service every year. I stopped in PNC Bank and I spoke with the president of the bank about getting permission for installing the security cameras with ERP, Emergency Response Protocol, the company that's putting in our security cameras. So I'm just waiting to hear from him. I think that's going to be a go. They seem very excited about extra security cameras on their building at really no cost to them. And the gentleman from the Little League, is his name Tim? Tim stopped in my shop and asked me to remind everybody that the Little League Parade will be coming up on March 31st. Still a ways off, and that's all I have for today.
I have nothing to report.
Before we go to the audience, Louis, do we have, I guess we have sufficient AEDs in the building for use if need be? And secondly, how often are the employees trained with that?
The AED, the automatic, if a voice goes over, earlier we can shock, and
The whole police
has one
department
of
left. They're the ones that would do the training, so.
Yeah, we actually do have at least one over on our side of the building, in the supervisor's office, so they can access it here, and then we have them in, not every car, we're trying to get them into every car, so as we're replacing cars, we're putting them in there. And then the officers get trained on that, they get first aid, CPR, and AED every year.
So if the one you have in your office fails, you have to go to the car to get
Yes,
them?
yeah, we would have to go to the car.
So what happens, Louis, in the instance that, you know, you could have maintenance men in a location and somebody falls victim to that? How often are they trained?
You mean Jimmy?
No,
CPW?
all of them.
Talking about DPW.
I don't know, I don't have any DPW people here, so I don't know.
But Dan
Okay.
is online.
May I contribute to this conversation?
Yeah, the AED?
This has been discussed in the last safety committee meeting. We're talking about, actually it was Mr. Larry Wolgers that suggested it last year. And he had proposals that we were looking at that we were going to submit to Lewis as far as the amount of AEDs we need. They are expensive. I believe DPW also had suggested there's an option of leasing these AEDs is a potential way to go, because if you purchase them outright, you own them and you own the
Right.
maintenance of them.
Right.
So it has been a topic of discussion for a while now. We just need to make a decision at some point of how many we need. Of course, the police department has some, but it's a good topic to bring up and also look into as far as following through. So we are looking into it. We just need to check with Louis about what feasibly we can do as far as the cost.
What's the cost, do you know?
I don't know off the top of my head, Commissioner.
The
I know
risk-
they're rather
That's your
expensive.
question anyway.
They're rather expensive. So if we were to buy them all outright, I think at one point Mr. Walters was talking about 15 to 20 of them to have it on each truck and DPW would have you. I don't know if that's something we can afford budgetarily. I mean, they are very expensive.
What were you gonna say, Mr. Brown?
1,800.
They're 1,800.
1,800 piece.
That's not
But
bad.
the thought of, I know they're gonna require maintenance.
Yes.
And I'll be honest with you, they don't require a lot of maintenance, and usually it's the batteries, and they do make noise when they have an issue.
So leasing
not
is gonna
something
be a
you would-
waste of money.
I feel it is, in my previous experience, you know, I did this in
Yeah, I know.
previous life, so they don't have a lot of problems. A lot of times the companies sell you on the fact that they may have issues, that they're gonna come and check them, and the newer ones, you can actually connect to Ethernet, and they'll call out if they have a problem, or send you an email if they have a problem, and so there's a lot of things that really don't require a lot of maintenance, but then you would still know. It's not like you're gonna pick it up to treat someone and then find out it has an issue. You'll know well in advance, they'll make a noise and you can replace the battery or do whatever.
Oh, that's awesome to
Yes,
know.
sure.
Yes.
Oh, we don't have any at DPW, or,
I don't believe so, but I'm not 100% sure.
we do.
Dance on
Huh?
them. Dance on
Oh,
them.
we do?
Yes.
Okay. And how many people would be trained?
And Commissioner Brummel asked how many
Oh,
people would
sorry.
be trained on the
Okay.
AEDs.
Oh, there you go. Actually, I got set up through Cintas, probably about 10 or something, but the core people around here.
Oh, good.
That was my intent.
10 people trained.
That's good to know. Good to
Yeah.
know.
Did he say syntax, meaning he's got that list?
Yeah, that's correct, yes, the one, yeah, exactly, we rent ours, exactly. yes.
They rent theirs.
It is installed, that, we rent on my wash.
Maybe we should look into the difference in cost.
There were also discussions of having one here in this area. Because when you have public coming for the meetings, you know, you may,
Yeah.
I mean, there might be a case when you may need that.
Yeah, I agree.
And Dan brought up Cintas because we have a contract with them. They handle our first aid kits for all of our departments.
Okay.
And we could go through them.
It would still
And
be
lease.
important to know the difference between a monthly lease fee
Correct.
versus a purchase.
We should definitely look into that.
I mean, if it's similar, it's fine. But... Thank you. Thank you, John.
Thank you.
For bringing that up.
We have some invitees here. Is there any information you want to give us? We certainly will welcome it.
Ray Jackson, Southfields. Want to just give you an update on the project. If you remember, I came here back in December, and they talked about coming in on a monthly basis, and me just updating you. So, very, very positive things I want to talk about today. First of all, our company we have a new employee. We hired a full-time civil engineer. He was trained in Connecticut. He went to the University of Connecticut. His name is Johnny Casira. He starts with us on February the 1st. For the last 7 years, he's worked for Department of General Services for the state of Maryland. So he's been here in Maryland for the last 7 years. He starts with us full time. So his primary function will be Southfields. So he will be a dedicated employee on my staff, a civil engineer, working with Jean and her department and with KCI, and just to help keep things, on track. So we're making another financial commitment on our part to help make sure things are moving in a positive direction. And I will say, since we were here last time, that things have been progressing phenomenally well. So I'm really happy with everybody's cooperation. Team Elkton's really stepping up. I just want to say that. I want to very briefly, I had talked last time I was here in December about the retail component. We are starting to process the retail plans. In February, we will have some plans to show you, some concept plans, and then we will be going to the Planning Commission. So I'm going to be proactive and invite my co-developer to come in here in the February meeting and make a presentation to share with you. Okay, and they will ask for feedback prior to us going to the Planning Commission and putting pen to paper. So they're Alliance Capital, and I discussed them very briefly, but the principals are based out of Miami, Florida. The principals are going to come here directly. We've had numerous conversations with national, both fast casual restaurants, sit-down restaurants. We've got interest from all the national branded hotels, so really good positive things to report. I don't want to steal their thunder. They will come here with some elevations and some pretty pictures and talk about who the potential clients are, tenants. Okay, so we plan to do that in February. So I wanted to update you there. With regards to the infrastructure, the boulevard, the water and sewer plans, things have been progressing well. Jean and her staff have been wonderful. The people, the town's engineers, KCI, have been providing us comments. Everybody's working together. It's our goal to be in the ground in March. Okay, so that's a lofty goal, but I think if we continue with the progress that we're making, we can get there. So it's our goal to start moving dirt and seeing progress, physical progress in March. I think I told you we have ordered the water tower. We're already under construction with the water tower. We did get, a couple of weeks ago, the first public works agreement from the town administrator in their office. And so all of these things are progressing in an expedient manner, and I'm very grateful for that. Mike, do you want to take a second and talk about the sports complex?
Just update on the feasibility study. I sent an email to you all, and I know you received it. I spoke to them this morning. It's very promising. They're very excited to deliver the draft, and it's all good news. So I'll leave it at that, since I'd rather the report speak for itself. We've had a lot of conversations about it, but I would say be prepared for some great news and to move forward. So thank you.
That's good to know.
Two other quick things that I want to update you on. The DR Horton, who was here the last time we met, you met Jay Howman from Horton. They are finalizing their plans. They hope to be making a submission for Parcel C, which is the single-family detached. Our hope is to be in the April or May Planning Commission. So that'll start those plans. So that what the idea is to get the boulevard cut in, get the water and sewer started, and then hopefully simultaneously be working on the single-family detached section, moving dirt on the boulevard parcel, common infrastructure, as well as the housing portion, kind of around the same time. One other thing I want to talk to you about, and I had mentioned, is the possibility of a public park. and that I told you that we had applied for some grant funding from the state of Maryland. That those conversations continue. There's a new administration obviously being sworn in today, so we have been respectful in letting them get situated. We have been speaking to the state delegate for this area and the state senator, and everybody is endorsing this, so no news to report there, but we're optimistic in the conversations. So the idea is to try to get some funding for planning, to see if it's feasible, see if it's a project that can actually get legs first without any cost to the town. We are incurring the cost in it with hopefully some support from the state. So hopefully in the next couple of months I can report back to that. But there's really, I just didn't want to leave that hanging. I wanted to give you an update on where that was. So again, it's full steam ahead. We're still in planning, but we're getting closer to the goal line of being able to move dirt. All right?
Yeah. Can you refresh my memory? What are we doing on the other side of 213?
So on the west side of 213, it's the bigger side of the development. On the east side of 213 is the second phase of single-family detached.
It
So
is
that single-family detached. And then we also are required to move the park and ride. So I purchased another parcel, and we're in the processing of permitting through state to move the park and ride about 80 feet, if you can believe it. So, but the onus is on us, and we're processing that. State Highway is pencil with that.
They feel it's necessary, I guess.
So, if you physically go there and look, you'll see one or, well, I don't have to tell you.
Looks like a nice little parking lot.
Yep, I'll leave that alone.
I
That's about it, I don't wanna fight to that.
Okay. Well, you know, with the development, it might be very,
It could, and, you know,
very useful
the
for
governor's,
buses, right? Or whatever.
yeah, the governor's about mass transit and transportation issues, and, so we're adhering to all
The new governor?
the new governor. The new governor's lieutenant governor is a transit-oriented engineer by trade. Just FYI.
Did not know that.
Yep. So.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
All good stuff, thanks, Ray.
Thank you for your time.
Yes, thank you.
Is there anyone online or anyone in the audience like to speak before us? Meeting's over, 12:22. Have a good day.